Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. And in this video today, I will be doing my third Markiplier theory video. Now, my last two theory videos were about the In Space with Markiplier trailer and In Space with Markiplier itself. So if you finish this video and you're still craving more Markiplier lore and Markiplier theories, I really recommend go checking those out. And with that said, let's continue with the video. So in this video, we actually are not talking about In Space with Markiplier. Instead, we're talking about one of his earlier ones, known as Who Killed Markiplier. Now, I'm still going to be talking more about In Space with Markiplier in a part 2 theory for a past theory that I already did, because there's still so much to theorize and uncover about In Space with Markiplier, since it's such a huge, long deal with so many choices and stuff. I'm just waiting to do that video until I fully get to see every single choice. So a part 2 will be coming soon. But yeah, in this video, we will be talking about Who Killed Markiplier. And that not only is the title of the video we're covering, Who Killed Markiplier, that's the name of the video, but we'll also be finding, the answer to that question as well. Who actually was the person who killed Markiplier? And if you are a long-time fan of the Markiplier series, you probably already know everything I'm about to talk about in this video, because this video is more for anybody who's just starting to get to know the Markiplier lore and isn't fully educated in it. But anyways, let's begin. So when the video starts, you enter the mansion, you talk to a few people, and then you get to meet Markiplier himself. And here's the first thing I have to make clear. This Markiplier, lore-wise, is not the same as this Markiplier. If you've watched any of Markiplier's, gameplay videos in the past, then you probably know Markiplier as a very excited, very open and honest person, especially to his fans. But in his own lore, he plays a character called Markiplier, who is a very rich and successful, also very rude and villain-like character who is just an all-around asshole to mostly everybody.
How long does a man have to wait for coffee? 5 minutes? Because that's what I'm doing. That's what, amazingly, that's what I'm doing, and I can't believe that I'm doing that. Oh, finally. Oh, which one do I get? Eeny, meeny, miny, the big one.
Anna, could I have a word, please? Do you see this? Do you see all this? I have 1 month of parole left, and if I go out looking this ugly, guess who's going back?
And also, based off of a clip that I'll be showing y'all later in the video, he may possibly be an abusive husband. And now I want to make clear that the person I just described is not actually Markiplier himself in real life. This is just a character he plays in a story he created. But after that, you have a couple scenes where you're just drunk and partying with everybody else there, which I absolutely love that scene, by the way. Probably one of my most favorite scenes in all 4 chapters of Who Killed Markiplier, the scene where you and everybody else is partying all drunk and stuff. I really like the way it was edited, and I also like kind of how you can kind of tell what people are doing in the scenes, but at the same time you can't really tell. And then pretty much after this is when you actually get to see Markiplier die.
Oh my God! There's been a murder!
This is also whenever you realize that whenever anybody says the word murder, and only the word murder, then lightning strikes. And later in the video, specifically actually chapter 3 of Who Killed Markiplier, whenever Celine steps in, she actually kind of points out the fact that anytime somebody says the word murder, lightning strikes. Now this wouldn't have been that big of a detail, or that big of a deal actually, but there's something that happens in Chapter 3 that suddenly makes this have a whole nother meaning. So in Chapter 3, you meet Celine, and y'all both do the weird ritual looking thing together. And you end up seeing like flashbacks and stuff, and you end up seeing the groundskeeper. And you go outside to meet the groundskeeper, which is one of my favorite characters, even though he's barely in here, because he's just so hilarious.
How do you not know about the murders at the house? How do you not hear that lightning?
Lightning is the sky's business. Look at the ground. When the ground starts shooting up lightning, I'll let you know.
But now listen to this.
Employers come and go. Some die, some don't. Some are murdered, some are not. Some are murders.
This dude just casually says the word murder, when literally anytime anybody else says that word, lightning strikes. But not for this man specifically. Now, is this a mistake that Markiplier made? I honestly do not think so. Because remember, he's the one who wrote the script.
I'm ready to go. All my lines are up in here. I wrote the damn thing.
Plus, there is one other character that says the word murder and doesn't have any lightning strike. This character being Jim, the news reporter.
I've got eyes on the murder.
So I'm willing to think that the reason these two get away with saying the word murder, meanwhile everybody else has to hear a lightning strike whenever they say it, is because these two people aren't a part of Markiplier's plan. Which leads me to the next part of my theory. Now, technically, this next part was actually theorized by game theory first, but I'm also going to be talking about it in this video. That way, y'all aren't just completely confused if you're new to the FNAF lore. So the reason Who Killed Markiplier is such a big deal is because it was all actually planned out by Markiplier himself. And of course, I'm talking about Markiplier from the lore. But pretty much what Markiplier did is he essentially killed himself and blamed it on the Colonel, and in the process stole Damien's body, leaving Damien and Celine both without their body, dead. But they're not technically dead, because they end up possessing your dead body after the Colonel accidentally kills you, and your dead body, along with Celine and Damien's souls mixed together, creates the one and only Darkiplier. At the very final part of Who Killed Markiplier, you look into a mirror after speaking with the souls of Damien and Celine, and you are Darkiplier. But not only is Who Killed Markiplier an origin story for Darkiplier himself, but it's also an origin story for Wilfred Warfstache. Notice how at the end, when you're revived as Darkiplier, the first thing you're greeted by is the Colonel sitting down, now with his jacket and his hat taken off, looking very similar to a person we all know too well at this point. But whoa, hold on. This was just a lot of stuff I just randomly stated out of nowhere, all the way from Markiplier possessing Damien's body to you being Darkiplier. So let me give some proof, and what better proof than Markiplier himself literally outright telling the camera this.
Here's a secret. I'm trying to ruin the Colonel's life, who's actually worth it.
Yeah, it went in my sock and I just
and I'm going to steal his body because he ran off with my wife. And it's all his fault and definitely not her choice. So, yeah, she must have gone crazy or something to leave me. So, but things don't go right, and then I do die, but I've died lots of times. I come back all the time. It's great. Beat death. Thing. So then in the end, I take over the mayor's body, but that's not Darkiplier. Darkiplier is the mayor. Spirit in my body, my broken, bloody body. He wants to go back and he wants revenge. That's the whole crux of the story. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, as he's explaining that, I want to show you again something he says.
Because he ran off with my wife, and it's all his fault and definitely not her choice.
That last thing he says leads me to believe that his wife, who is Celine, most likely willingly went with the Colonel. Now, why would Celine not want to be with Markiplier, her husband, apparently? Well, I mean, we've already seen Markiplier in this universe be a bit of a jerk. And it's a possibility that what I said at the beginning of my video with Markiplier might be an abusive husband. That might possibly be why. I mean, I'm just saying, in Space with Markiplier, in that ending where it shows the actual in-universe Markiplier in like a kind of behind-the-scenes type way, we do hear him talk a bit about how he's on parole. So, you know, just speculation, but still.
Anna, could I have a word, please? Do you see this? Do you see all this? I have 1 month of parole left, and if I go out looking this ugly, guess who's going?
But hey, that's just a theory, a Markiplier theory. So make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Again, I do have other Markiplier theories if you want to go check those out. And all the videos that I used clips of and stuff throughout this video will be linked in the description. So definitely go check out Who Killed Markiplier if you've never seen it before, because this video is not supposed to be a replacement for watching the actual thing. Still, please go support Markiplier and go support his work towards all the stuff that I essentially just stole from in this video. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and goodbye.